What's going on, everybody? This is Matt Does Fitness, and how do you throw an incredible space party? You plan it. Okay, this is my squat highlights from the first week of my second cycle, and you're about to see what happened, but it was pretty decent. This is the first session, so this is 5 sets of 5 at 160 kilos, which is 353 pounds. I got all the sets in. It was a bit of a grind, but I felt pretty decent. Now, of my 3 lifts, squats was probably the one that I was most concerned about coming back from holiday because, I don't know, it just always feels heavy and it's hard. And I personally feel like if I don't squat even if I only squat once a week, I feel like I'm going to plateau. I'm not going to feel great in my session. So obviously, to not have squatted properly for like the best part of 3 weeks, I was pretty worried about it. But it feels like, as is the case with my other lifts, I am now pretty much where I was when I left, which is obviously, like really, really pleasing. Okay, you see here, I'm still, a few people have commented on it in my other squat video. Since I've been back, my form still isn't completely right. I'm still a little bit I'm still getting back into it. I don't feel completely comfortable yet. There's times where my heels are coming up. There's times where I'm letting myself fall too far forwards. Times where I'm even kind of sitting back a little bit too much. I'm still trying to get into a rhythm, but that will come. And the fact that I'm lifting reasonable weights, even without that, is obviously good news. Now, in terms of my training, I've said it before, I'm running a 6-week cycle now, and it's going to, for my deadlift and my squat, it's going to predominantly consist of 5 sets of 5. What I'm thinking though is I do want to throw in some different sessions, because obviously with the 5 sets of 5, there's going to come a point where I can't just continually up the weight, and I don't want to be doing the same session all the time because it's going to get depressing, and also you're kind of asking for a plateau there. So what I think I'll do is maybe throw in some, kind of similar to my bench, throw in some sessions where I do sets of 3, perhaps 3 or 5 sets of 3. Obviously go a bit heavier. That'll give me a chance for my squats to kind of get up to a heavier weight. And with my deadlifts, a similar thing, probably do some sets of 3, which again will allow me just to lift heavier, get a little bit closer up towards my max, and give me a bit of confidence. And also kind of give me an idea of what I am kind of looking for in terms of a PR goes at the end of this cycle. So it's just, it will be exciting, it'll be fun, I guess it'll be good for you guys to watch, and for me it'll be a useful tool just to get an idea of where I am at, because obviously doing the 5 sets of 5, I know I'm getting stronger, I feel really good, but there's always that element of doubt because you're not working at a massive percentage of your max. So doing the sets of 3 just allows you to creep a little bit higher up. Again, you see here, I've noticed it a few times in my squats. Sometimes I twist a tiny bit at the bottom, so I go down here. If you see a tiny bit as I start to come up from the squat, sometimes I twist down to my left, and I can tell I'm doing it when I'm squatting because in this session particularly, my left bum cheek was kind of on the brink of cramp a couple of times. You see I'm pretty smashed. But yeah, I am trying to fix that. That was my 5 sets of 5. Got them all in. I'm really pleased with that because obviously it's not a massive weight, but it's not far off where I was before I left. So I'll definitely take that. I then did some pause work. I did 3 sets of 5, and I did them at, no, that's a lie, sorry. I did 3 sets of 4, I think, and I did them at 120 kilos, which is 264 pounds, I believe. You see there, I'm sitting down nice and deep. I am definitely, it's weird, I find pause squats a little bit weird because obviously I'm training myself to be explosive, to get that stretch reflex, and that feels like I'm doing the total opposite, but I do definitely like them. I think they're a useful tool. Now, second session, I went again for 5 sets of 5. This time I went for 165 kilos, which is 364 pounds. And now this one was, to be honest, this kind of sums me up. I probably should have taken a little bit longer, built it up a little bit slower, but I am very, very impatient. I didn't want to wait around doing, like light weights for any period of time. Also, I find it a little bit demoralising. I find it hard to get motivated for sessions that I know I've already done in the past. So I thought I would go for what would be an equal PR session. So I did this again, as with my bench and my deadlifts. This is the session I did leading up to my squat PB, my squat PR of 195 kilos. 430 pounds. I went for 5 sets of 5 at 165 kilos, which is 374 pounds or so, I think. And it was a massive, massive grind. I managed to get 4 sets. I possibly could have like squeezed out a fifth, but I didn't want to push my luck. On the third set, I could feel myself. Some of the reps were a massive struggle, and I didn't want to twinge anything or risk any kind of minor injury, so I thought I'd leave it there. 4 sets of 5 is still a pretty decent return. It means, again, I'm pretty much where I was before I left with my squats, which is awesome news, and obviously sets me up to go a lot heavier. Now, whereas the last session I felt pretty comfortable, here it just felt really, really heavy. I did this reasonably early in the day, to be fair, and like as soon as I lifted it up, I knew it was going to be a grind. But I'm pleased because I didn't dump the bar once. I managed to get all of my reps in apart from that last set. My form doesn't actually look too bad. It didn't feel great. They all felt really grindy, and I felt like I was a little bit all over the place with the weight. But actually looking at them here, it looks pretty controlled, looks pretty decent. Stretch reflexes squat gun, I'm coming up quite quickly out of the hole you see there. So to be honest, all in all, I'm really pleased with that, because like I said, when I did this before I went away, I was absolutely delighted to get this session. I've said it before, I remember seeing a while back, I remember seeing Alex Monderas do this exact session. I remember thinking that is friggin' massive. To do that for 5 sets of 5 is an incredible effort. So the fact that I'm doing it now, like I said, I'm delighted with that. And I reckon I could hit my PR again now if I wanted to, but I want to wait until the end of the cycle and try and pull out something big. I've said it before, all 3 of my lifts, my deadlift, squat and bench, I want to hit a decent PR at the end of this 6-week cycle. That is my plan. So I would say, even though I've only done 1 week now, I'm very much on track to achieve that goal, I reckon. So yeah, like I was saying before, in terms of my schedule, it will be predominantly 5 sets of 5 for squats and deadlifts, with some sets of 3 occasionally. And then as for my bench press, I'll continue what I've been doing, which I think works really well. 3 sessions, and they will be either 3 sets of 5, 5 sets or 3, or occasionally I'll do 5 singles, which again will give me a chance to get up towards my max and just get used to lifting some heavy weight. Plus, it gives you, obviously it's going to be taxing for my CNS, but it gives me a little bit of, my joints and stuff, a little bit of a break from all the reps. Okay, then after my 4 sets of 5, I did some front squats. I did 110 kilos, which is, what is that, about 230 pounds or so, I think. And I did that for 3 sets of 5. As is generally the case with me with with front squats, the weight felt pretty easy in terms of the actual squat. It's just holding the bar in that position. I don't like it. I really find front squats uncomfortable. I found a position that works best for me. It's kind of like the lesser of 2 evils, but it still is not very comfortable, and definitely my grip on the bar is not my actual grip, but just holding the bar is my limiting factor. Anyway, stop whinging. Moving on, I did some wide grip chin-ups. My strength is gradually coming back here. I definitely noticed a bit of a loss on these when I got back, but it's coming back. I did 3 sets of, I think, about 14 to about 12 to about 10. Then I did some T-bar rows in the corner. This is an interesting camera angle. I did 3 sets of 12-ish in these. I went pretty light here because I was hammered from the squats. And I didn't want to collapse, but I did, 3 sets of 12-ish. I felt some really, really nice lat engagement, to be fair. And then I finished my session with some old school alternating dumbbell arm curls with a little bit of supination there. I did 3 sets of, I think, 10-ish to about 8-ish. But to be honest, I've never done these before. I've possibly done them like once before. I always tend to do things simultaneously because I don't like the long wait. And obviously doing a set of 8 here takes ages because you've got to do them on each arm individually. But actually, I am coming around. I quite like these. They felt really good. I feel like I can kind of engage my biceps better when I'm doing them unilaterally, like one at a time. And so I will include those more in the future. But that was my week of squats. Like I said, I'm really, really pleased with that. I'm definitely on track in terms of where I want to be. So it bodes well. Then I thought I would share with you this little meal I had. So that evening I had a Thai green curry cooked by my wife, and you can't really see it there. For some reason in these clips my food always looks smaller. I can assure you that is a massive, massive curry. I worked it out, I reckon it was about just over 1,000 calories, about 1,050 calories, something like 80 to 85 grams of protein. I believe about like 100 grams of, maybe more than that, quite a lot of grams. I didn't work out the carbs, but obviously quite a lot. Quite a lot of fat, a good like 50 grams of fat there, but that was a struggle to eat. I got it done like a trooper, and I just thought I thought you would enjoy seeing a little bit of what I eat after training. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, as always, and I will see you in my next video.